Good morning, my dear students. Today I would like to teach you about the Elixir of Life, the second lesson from your textbook, part 1. As you know, water is very important, right? For our life, we need to drink each and every day. Yes, without water, we cannot imagine our life, right? So let us study about this lesson in detail. Let's move on. Yes, when we come to here, we have introduction. Note on the author. As we know, Sir C.V. Raman, he was born in the year 1888 and he was died on 1970. He had a keen interest in science even from his boyhood days. See, as we know, he is a great scientist. So his hard work, behind his hard work, there is a lot of his interest. His keen interest made him scientist. We can take those things as dream. Yes, dream of his boyhood, that is keen interest, that converted him as a kind of achievement, right, for his famous discovery called the Raman Effect. I hope you have studied about this discovery in your science textbook. Yes, the Raman Effect. So famous discovery. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1930. For his extraordinary achievement, he was awarded the Nobel Prize. King George knighted, here knighted in the sense awarded. King George knighted him for his contributions to physics. The government of India awarded him the Bharat Ratna and the Soviet Union honored him with the International Lenin Prize in 1957. It's about C.V. Raman. And let us have a look what he has written about the lesson, that is Elixir of Life. Yes, welcome back you all again for this lesson. The title of the lesson is The Elixir of Life, written by C.V. Raman. Let us go to pre-reading activity. It is said that if the Third World War breaks out, it will be for the sake of water. Do you agree? Discuss in pairs. It is said that if the World War breaks out in the sense started. If the World War, which World War is this? Third World War. As we know, First World War in the year 1914. Yes, in the Second World War 1939. So when we come to Third World War, so it is probably about sake of water. Do you agree? Yes, you have to agree about this concept. Yes, let us go to first paragraph. Man has through the ages sought in vain for an imaginary elixir of life. See, narrator is giving somewhat stress to this word, that is elixir. What do you mean by elixir? We'll come to know. The divine Amrita. Yes, elixir is nothing but divine Amrita to confer immortality. Yes, immortality. What do you mean by immortality? Immortality in the sense, as we know, God. Yes, God is always immortal. So that is the power of God. But we got immortality. God immortality by taking divine Amrita. So what is that divine Amrita? That is elixir. Yes. But the true elixir, what is that true elixir? True elixir of life lies near to our hands. Here he is talking about divine Amrita that makes man immortal. But as we come to the third line, here he speaks about Amrita. Which Amrita is that? In the form of elixir that is very near to our hands. For it is the commonest of all liquids, plain water. Yes, ultimately, at the end of this paragraph, he came to the decision. So, what is the meaning of elixir? Elixir is nothing but water, that is divine Amrita, that gives kind of energy to lead our life. Let us move on to the next paragraph. Yes, here you can see the image represents water. Yes, water is very important not only for us but also for animals and plants. Yes, let's move on. When we come to second paragraph, what the narrator is talking, what the narrator talks here. I remember one day standing on the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley of the Nile in Egypt. So, where is the narrator here? I refers to narrator and is standing. Where is standing? Is standing somewhere the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley of the Nile, wherein Egypt. So, Egypt is a kind of country, one of the countries located wherein continent, that is Africa. So there narrator is standing where the line which separates, which divides from Libyan desert to the Nile of the valley of the Nile in Egypt. One side. So one side, we can say that narrator is standing the line where separates Libyan desert and the valley of the Nile. There, one side, in his left side, he can see visible. So, what is visible there? A sea of billowing. What do you mean by billowing? Spreading over large area. That is pointing about a sea. Yes. Billowing sand, the sand is spreading everywhere, so he can notice, so that is nothing but Libyan desert without a speck of green or single living thing. So speck means a small tiny piece, a very small mark. Here he didn't notice even single small mark. It's about living thing. It may be that plants or people who lived along with his house and all. So these things he cannot see there. On it, while on the other side. So here narrator's right side. When we come to narrator's right side, here we can notice lay one of the greenest. So it is totally opposite from his left side. What he has noticed, his left side. Here is greenest, the greenest, most fertile. It's about land and densely populated. Populated in the sense people who lived along with these plants and all, right? Areas to be found anywhere on the earth. Teeming with life, full of life. You can take about animals, plants or people who lived there. And vegetation in the sense plants and all. What made this difference? So there the narrator, he points out these things and came to the decision, and at the same time he questioned himself, what made this difference? So what is the thing behind this to changes and all? Why? He asked himself, why? What is the reason? Then he says, it is the water of the river, that is Nile. The Nile is reason to make these changes. flowing down to the Mediterranean from its source of sources a couple of thousands of miles away. So it's about Nile River, how Nile River is flowing. Yes, flowing where? And it joins to the Mediterranean Sea. Yes, let us move forward to the next paragraph. Geologists tell us. So who are geologists? One who study about geology now. Tell us, they are telling something about this. What is that? The entire soil of the Nile Valley. So they are speaking about soil of the Nile Valley is the creation. So who created the soil which is available wherein the Nile Valley? So that is created by the river itself. Nile River, the Nile River itself created the soil which is available nearby the valley. It was brought down as the finest silt. What do you mean by silt? You might have read glossary there given. Yes, silt is nothing but sand, or you can take mud, etc., carried by flowing water and left at the mouth of the river. Yes, here a silt, sand or mud, which is carried by the river while flowing, and it is kept where? At the mouth of a river. That is what silt he is talking about. And somewhat silt carried by flood waters and all from the highlands of Abyssinia and from remote Central Africa. So it's about it's about Nile River. From the highlands of Abyssinia, Abyssinia is the name of the country there, from remote Central Africa. As we know that Africa is filled with somewhat forests, deep forests and all, and laid down through the ages here is given trough. What do you mean by trough? Trough in the sense, what we can say, trough, we can say that yes, there is no meaning, but you can say that ages in the trough through which it's about land. Trough. Okay, we'll discuss later about this. Through which the Nile flows into the sea. So in this way, that Nile River is flowing from somewhere Abyssinia, from remote central area of Africa, lay down through the ages. So it has a kind of history, flowing history. Egypt, in fact, was made by its river. So total Egypt, the country, is made up of its river, that is the Nile. Its ancient civilization was created and is sustained by the life-giving waters which come down year after year with unfalling regularity. So it's about totally contribution is given by the Nile River itself. In this way, Egypt country is made. Yes, let us look at this meaning of the word, that is trough. Here, as we note, from the highlands of Abyssinia and from remote Central Africa, and lay down through the ages in the trough in the sense, channel. Yes, trough in the sense channel in the sense when the river is flowing, that river itself created its way to connect the sea. That is the way the word trough is used. Yes, Yes, here you can notice trough is nothing but channel. Channel is not about a news channel and all. It's about the way that river created itself. That is what channel. In this way, through this which the Nile flows into the sea. In this way, the river created its own way to connect the sea. Yes, let us move to next paragraph. Yes, here is very clear. The word trough means, look at here, this is what channel. It is created by river itself to join the sea, that is Mediterranean. Yes, here you can notice Mediterranean Sea. In this way, the Nile River connects, right? This is what the Nile River. Here, this place you can notice as we discussed Libyan desert. But the place where the Nile River flowing, there we can notice green. That symbolizes water as a power to create all, nourish life and all. So totally we can say that water is giving, life-giving source, right? Without water, we cannot imagine anybody's life or plants and all. Yes, let us move on. Yes, here you can notice the clear picture. It's about Nile River. Nile River is flowing. So nearby, I mean the mouth of the river, we can notice the plants and all, right? All are green. Yes. But when we come to here, it's about desert. It's filled with sand. Yes. So that is the changes. So water is reason to change all this place. Right. Move on. Here you can notice continent. That is Africa. Yes. Somewhere here Egypt. Here is Nile River. Nile River is connecting the sea. Yes. It's very easy to understand, right? Somewhere here our country, that is India. Yes, let's move on. So fifth paragraph. There is nothing which adds so much to the beauty of the countryside as water, be it just a little stream. What do you mean by stream? Earlier lesson you have studied, right? Stream is nothing but a small river trickling over the rocks. In this way, stream is going to search its way. In this way, stream is flowing and trickling over. Trickling, what do you mean by trickling? Trickling in the sense flowing and hitting that some of the rocks and all. In this way, stream is flowing over the rocks or a little pond. See, there are two words, F-O-N-D, pond, and P-O-N-D, pond. Pond is nothing but a place where water is stored by the wayside where the cattle quench. Let me show you image about this. Cattle in the sense animals are coming to quench their thirst, because water is necessary in order to satisfy our thirst of an evening. The rain-fed tanks that are so common in South India, alas, often so sadly neglected in their maintenance, are a cheering sight when they are full. So here the author is speaking about rain-fed tanks. Rain-fed tanks in the sense tanks which is filled with rainwater. But in South India that is common, but what they are doing is that is sadly neglected by the people of their maintenance. They don't maintain about this rain-fed tanks and all. That's why it's about very sad issue to discuss, right? But at the same time, happy news is about rain tank is they are a cheering sight when they are full. When these tanks are filled with water, that is cheering sight. Cheering sight, a kind of celebration about happiness. How? Because rain-fed tanks are filled with water. that made us happy at the time. They are, of course, shallow. It's about rain-fed tanks. How rain-fed tanks is shallow, a little depth, right? But this is less evident since the water is silt laden. Earlier we talked about silt. Silt is nothing but sand or mud, right? And throws the light back. But there is a matter. The matter is very clear. Its depth is very little, and as we can see, less evident. What do you mean by evident? Evident in the sense less visible. We cannot see about the water, and it's about silt and all, and throws the light back. Light, it's about sunlight, and the sunlight is on this kind of rain-fed tanks. It's very difficult to see silt and all, and at the same time the light is throws back, right? And the bottom does not therefore show off. So this reason we cannot see the bottom of the rain-fed tanks. These tanks play a vital role, vital in the sense very important role in South Indian agriculture. See, South Indian agriculture is depending on this kind of rain-fed tanks. Some of these tanks are surprisingly large. So it's a size and all. It is a beautiful sight to see the sunrise or set over. So two times, when the sun is rising and when the sun is setting. So at these two times, it's very beautiful to see. One of them, then water in landscape may be compared to the ice. So water in landscape, land, where the land, if there is water, so that water is seen as ice, where in a human face. So here human face is compared with water in the landscape. It reflects the mood of the hour, being bright and gay in the sense happiness, when the sun shines, turning to dark and gloomy when the sky is overcast when the sky is covered with cloud. So it's about the beauty of this rain-fed tanks, how rain-fed tanks appeared. Yes, dear students, let me stop here. I'll meet you with some other next video. Thank you so much.